Assalamualaikum. Welcome to another video on English XP. In this video, we are again covering the IELTS writing section. ये academic IELTS का writing section task 1 है. In task 1 in the academic section, you are usually asked to describe something. It can be a map, a process or a chart. अब हमने in our previous video हमने देखा था कि how to describe a trend chart. A trend chart is something जिसमें x axis पे आपकी timeline है. Today we will be looking at how to describe other types of bar charts and pie charts. They do not necessarily change over time in this case. This is a very common type of IELTS question, so pay attention. In our subsequent videos, we will also be covering maps and processes. That way आपने all the different types of IELTS academic task 1 जो हैं वो देख लिए होंगे, आपको structure का पता होगा, and you will be in a better position to attempt the IELTS exam. We are going to start off by looking at the structure that you need to follow for this type of question. Now, and then we will look at a sample question followed by a model 9-band answer. A 9-band answer देख के आपको अक्सर आइडिया हो सकता है कि what type of writing you need to do and what type of descriptive language you need to use in order to really score a good grade or a good band in the IELTS exam. So, starting off with our overview or our structure, you're again going to start off with an introduction, as you can see here on the side. Introduction is just rephrasing the topic statement. So, very much similar to जो हमने trend charts में देखा था. You're going to just rephrase what they have given you, say it in your own words, and that is it for your introduction. Simple enough. Followed by the introduction, in your next paragraph, you need to again give a general overview. As you may remember, overview क्या है? Overview है कि जो general trends हैं in the chart, जो भी आपको लगता है कि this chart में without stating the specifics, कोई numbers लिए बगैर कोई specific चीज़ों के बाद जो आपको general चीज़ें notice में आ रही हैं. अभी हम अपने model answer में देखेंगे कि how the overview differs from your main body paragraphs, उनमें क्या होता है और overview में क्या होता है. Followed by this, you have your main body paragraph. Main body paragraphs again, इसमें आपने you're going to try to divide whatever information you have into two parts. एक paragraph में half को आप describe करना है and half in the other paragraph. In these paragraphs is where आपने specifics को बताना है, and by specifics I mean जो भी उन्होंने आपको y-axis में दिया होगा numbers या values, उनको आपने बताना है. You are going to try to paint a picture in the reader's mind, in the examiner's mind, of what the chart is saying. So essentially a 9-band answer, उसमें reader को वो पढ़ के देखे बगैर chart के समझ आनी चाहिए कि chart में क्या बात या क्या information दी गई थी. And as we once again see, as with all task 1 answers, you have to write a minimum of 150 words. It's always 150 words in all of the IELTS exam. So, ये आपने ज़हन में रखना है कि ये minimum limit है. There is no maximum limit. So, ऊपर की कोई limit नहीं है. एक normal good answer usually is around 200 words. But again, there's no fixed hard and fast rule for this. So as long as आप 150 words से ऊपर लिख रहे हैं, आपकी कोई negative marking नहीं होगी. Now on the screen here, we can see a sample question for the IELTS exam, जिसमें एक bar chart describe करने का कहा हुआ है. They are asking us to describe a bar chart. First, let's see what the question says. The graph shows data about the average Saturday sales of 2 bakeries in London in 2010. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Now we see that in this case, it's not like a trend chart. X-axis पे आपकी कोई timeline नहीं है. Instead, you have categories on your x-axis such as cakes, cookies, rolls, fresh loaves, and so on. We see कि वो 2 bakeries हैं, Lovely Loaves and Bernie's Buns, and they're giving us the average number of items sold. We always have to pay close attention to the labeling on the axes. That is what tells us what that axis represents. कि उसमें किस चीज़ की बात की जा रही है। और जब आप फॉर एग्जांपल इस केस में एवरेज नंबर ऑफ आइटम सोल्ड है, इट इज़ नॉट द प्रॉफिट मेड फ्रॉम द प्रोडक्ट और एनीथिंग एल्स। सो आपने अकॉर्डिंगली उसको रेफर करना है और उसी तरह से ही उसकी बात करनी है। Now let's jump straight into the model answer. The model answer will show us कि किस तरह से इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन आपको अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए. As you can see on the screen now, we have our chart and we have the model answer. So let's see what it has to say. It starts off in the introduction by saying, this bar graph compares the most popular items sold by two bakeries in London on a typical Saturday in 2010. The graph shows average sales of 8 items including cakes, rolls and toasted sandwiches in Bernie's buns and lovely loaves. So you see in the introduction what they have done is उन्होंने अपनी टॉपिक स्टेटमेंट को रिफ्रेज किया है एंड देन दे एडेड वन मोर सेंटेंस जिसमें उन्होंने थोड़ा सा एक एग्जाम्पल्स दे दिए ऑफ द काइंड ऑफ कैटेगरीज दे हैव एंड द नेम्स ऑफ द टू बेकरीज. सो यू कैन ऑलवेज ऐड अ little additional information in your introduction to make sure कि जो उनकी टॉपिक स्टेटमेंट है आपकी उससे डिफरेंट हो जाए. Now moving on to the second paragraph, which is basically the overview. Overview में क्या वो कहते हैं? Overall, it can be seen that Bernie's Buns is generally the busiest bakery, outselling Lovely Loaves in 6 out of 8 items. On the whole, savory foods such as toasted sandwiches, salads, and rolls are not as popular as sweet items like cakes and cookies. So, we see in this second paragraph that they have not stated any specific number. उन्होंने generally बताया है कि busiest bakery कौन सी है in most of the category और फिर सबसे ज़्यादा popular selling items कौन से हैं. They have not gone to say exactly किस item ने कितनी sales थी या which item was specifically the lowest or anything. They have just given us general an overview of what the chart was saying. अब हम अपने मेन बॉडी पैराग्राफ को देखेंगे जिसमें हम स्पेसिफिक्स की बात करते हैं एंड यूजुअली ऑन आवर ओन जजमेंट खुद ही से हमने डिसाइड करना है कि किस तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन को 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर ले एंड एक पार्ट को एक पैराग्राफ में हम डिस्क्राइब कर दें एंड द नेक्स्ट पार्ट वी विल डिस्क्राइब इन द नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. सो वी सी इन दिस केस दैट they have divided the 2 paragraphs into basically the 2 bakeries. पहले वो Bernie's Buns को describe कर रहे हैं and then Lovely Loaves. Let's read what they have to say. In terms of sales at Bernie's Buns, donuts came top of the list with an average of around 135 sold on a Saturday. Cookies and cakes are the next best sellers with around 115 and 100 of these snacks sold respectively. Savory foods are less popular. Bernie's Buns sell slightly more rolls than crisps with roughly 75 of each leaving the shelves. Toasted sandwiches and salads are not nearly as popular with just 25 and 18 sold in turn. So we see they have completely described every single category in Bernie's Buns. कुछ very good descriptive and comparative language उन्होंने use की है जो कि मैं point out करना चाहता हूँ. For example, the next best sellers, right? The next best sellers, top of the list. This is a good way to place things in different positions. Respectively, you can always tell about 2 things and then say around and state 2 numbers and say respectively meaning in the same order that you stated the categories. In this case, cookies and cakes 115 and 100. And then we see some more language in this. Slightly more rolls. Salads are not nearly as popular. So this is all the type of language that you can use in any task 1 question where you need to describe something or compare to. Now let's look at our last paragraph. Donuts are also the number 1 purchase in Lovely Loaves with just over 120 sold on a Saturday. Cookies are third at around 65 sales. Salads come next with just over 60, 3 times as many as are sold in Bernie's Buns. Rolls and fresh loaves are joint 5th with 50 sales apiece, followed by crisps at approximately 45. The least popular item in Lovely Loaves is toasted sandwiches with around 25 sales. So again we see they took lovely loaves, completely described the entire chart and all of the values to the specifics, right? So that is what you need to do in task 1 in your when you're trying to describe a chart. It can be a bar chart or a pie chart. Now in our subsequent videos, make sure you subscribe to this channel now, because we will cover exactly आपको किस type की language use करने की ज़रूरत है. I will further help you in formulating an introduction and basically how to go about using the correct type of words to describe things. ये सब चीज़ें हम देखेंगे. Task 2 के भी हम questions देखेंगे. Subscribe to this channel, turn on your notifications, make sure you stay tuned to improve your English with English XP. Thank you.